Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Shemi Yahushua, and the oneness to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule and teach well. Young brother here, and this is ZeroHedge.com, the real threat of what I'm going to call FMCs. Alright, so 15, then MC, right? Big Lies, Big Data, and the Rise of Bigger Brother. You see here, authored by John McKeown via the Brownstone Institute. The Guardian's Oliver Wainwright recently discussed a new international socialist conspiracy, so-called, right, that's taken the world by storm. The French forces of far left, he noted, are plotting to take away our freedom, to be stuck in traffic jams, to crawl along clogged ring roads, and trawl the streets in search of parking spots. The name of this chilling global movement, he asks, sarcastically and somewhat contemptuously, the FMC. Wainwright believed these cities are a part of a mundane planning theory. He's wrong. A few days after Wainwright's piece was published, 3 academics called FMCs the hottest conspiracy theory of 2023. In a truly elitist manner, they poked fun at those who dared to question the motive behind FMCs. One needed be a card-carrying QAnon member to have feared over these Trojan-like creations. Before going any further, it's important to get our definitions in order. As the political scientist Kelly M. Greenhold noted, not all conspiracy theories are wacky, and not all conspiracy theories are wrong. Take the Watergate conspiracy theory, for instance, or the fact that Edith Wilson made most executive decisions that their husband Woodrow Wilson suffered a stroke. Quite often, conspiracy theories turned out to be accurate. Also known as smart cities, FMCs are places where everything imaginable, from your place of work to your favorite pizzeria, is accessible either by foot or bike. Not by car though. They'll be verboten in 15 minutes or less. What's so bad about that? I don't know what verboten means. Let's go take a look. Verboten just means forbidden in German. Now I think about something really similar to forbidden, but we know about the history of English and all that. It's like portions of German. Let's see here. Where do I? We are, after all, creatures of comfort, live in a world with a mantra. Too long, didn't read. Now reign supreme. We crave convenience. We crave expediency, right? Which that's what the elites want. They don't want people to like sit down and read things, or hell, even to watch things. You know, they pushed out, and put in the popular media, for example, like these whole shorts thing, which is just meant to distract people. And you can sit there and watch shorts all day. It's very easy to be distracted on them. And I've had my moments, so like I watch like bodybuilding shorts and I'll be stuck on there for a hot minute and I have to catch myself. I'm like, holy shit, 10 minutes have passed. I watched like a bunch of these shits, so I need to knock that shit off and like go do something, make something with my life, instead of watching a bunch of fucking steroid junkies fucking flex and shit. But with this whole thing, man, they do that on purpose, and they do that for a reason, because like a lot of the long form documentaries, 2 or 3 hours, there's a lot of info, and that's where you're gonna find a lot of the information, like especially go on the fringe of the internet, with a fringe, like these fringe platforms, like look for this stuff, right? That's where you're gonna find a lot of the information in the 2 or 3 hour documentary. Watching that, taking notes on things that you hear that sound interesting, and then you go research it yourself. That's what is gonna give you the information that you need to know. Because this information is actually important for your survival. You need to know about these things, so you won't be surprised when they come, right? Because wisdom, stability should be the wisdom and knowledge should be stability of our time. First and foremost, knowledge is truth, but by looking through the world, we of course use the scriptures as the foundation and a lens to look at it. And now you look at this stuff here, right? You can see it's like, wow, like, yeah, they're really going through with this bullshit, Which, who knows? This in particular, will this come like on a nationwide scale anytime soon? Who knows? We do know that martial law is going to come in, but will this come in like soon? Who knows? But this all plays into what these guys want to do, and plays into what's good to say about Esau. We're going to get that in a minute. You damn devil. However, expediency is always a good thing. It sometimes is downright dangerous. It's especially true when people either consciously or otherwise trade their freedoms for easy access to certain services. FMCs may make it easier for citizens to get from A to B. These creations also make it easier for those in power to spy on us, to harvest our data, and enable Big Brother to become Bigger Brother. Okay, and you should know what Big Brother is and the connotations of that. If you don't, you should go watch the movie 1984. I haven't watched the movie. I read the book back in high school. That's all I know about 1984. But if you want to go read the book, go read the book. But you can look at the movie as well. Is it right? This FMCs are being actively championed by the WF, the group behind the Great Reset, and the idea of owning nothing, having absolutely no privacy, and being very happy. This fact alone should concern all readers. I want to discuss the WF. To many, I'm sure FMCs sound very cool, right? Which all of this stuff is all tied. The rise of EVs or electric vehicles, which they can shut down, and that you can't go as far with them. They're doing that on purpose to pretty much cordon. I don't know how to say it. Like you have cattle, and you want to gate cattle off. It's the same mindset. They want to keep you like cattle and engage you in like you're like a cow or something, and then with the thing that's gonna be the cherry on top, just gonna have total surveillance over you. World B, the chip, which they'll put in your brain or on your right hand, but you're forbidden from taking it anywhere. So see how this stuff is constantly coming up in the news. This is how we know that the prophecies are playing out. We're moving into that time where this thing is, one of these days it's gonna be out here, man. They're gonna say, all right, man, we're rationing the food, but if you want to get the food, you're gonna have to take it. I saw another brother talk about that and the reason why we know it's gonna happen like that is because with that they can look at your biometrics and tell you how much rations you're supposed to get. I think our brothers, he explained it like that. So and it's also for tracking as well, because then they can track exactly how much rations they gave you and all that. As I've noted elsewhere, the word smart is just a synonym for surveillance. These ultra-modern, tech-saturated monstrosities, hundreds of thousands of centers to vacuum up copious amounts of personal data. FMC policies are currently being rolled out in cities such as Barcelona, Bogota, Melbourne, Paris, and a dystopian wasteland known as Portland. What do these cities have in common? Surveillance tech. Between now and 2040, cities right across the United States and beyond are predicted to spend trillions of dollars on the installation of additional cameras and biometric sensors. Sure, surveillance is bad now, but as Randy Bachman famously hollered, you ain't seen nothing yet. By 2050, more than 2/3 of the world's population will live in closely surveilled urban centers like glorified rats in cramped cages. As I said before, well, they set up the system before they push out the mark, or they put out the mark first. Who knows, you know? But it's just something that I wanted to just bring up because I get into a lot of the news. Been getting into like a lot of news lately. I feel like I've always been getting into news. I kind of have like portions where like I get into it more than others, but sometimes like I see something and I'm like, maybe I should like report on this, but I do try to like repost things so that others can see it, because I be on here on these sites and different forums and like looking at stuff. So let's go get like a few precepts. Alright, so here's the few precepts for me get. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, for ye souls to be in the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That word for world really should be like, there should be ion or age when you go into it. So it really shouldn't be world, it should be an age. Alright, he says the end of the age. He says rulership is going to mark the end of the age. Jacob is the beginning that followeth. Look at Daniel, the 7th chapter, towards the end. It tells you about that, how this also same thing's written in Daniel, 2nd chapter. Basically, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is going to destroy all world governments and set up the kingdom, basically, Israelite rulership upon the planet Earth. And that's all in the scriptures. Alright. Obadiah 1:3, upon my thine heart after CAD that 12, and then cluster rock whose habitation is high, the safe in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground. Alright, and that's how they really think. See here, habitation is high, skyscraper. They dwell in the cleft of the rocks, and those skyscrapers, that's what it's talking about. Skyscrapers that look exactly like their dwelling places that they used to dwell in. Back in Mount Seir, when you look at it, it looks surprisingly similar. A lot of the buildings there, based on that similar architecture. Also, a lot of the stuff in Seir resembles Roman architecture, and that Roman architecture, of course, resembles American architecture, because that Esau Edom took over Rome. Started in and around about the time when Julius Caesar started to get into power, and then he, was declared Caesar. He became like a dictator and shit. And then that became the age of the Caesars and stuff. With him, it was other guys with that first triumvirate. Those guys were all Edomites. They basically did business and rose up into power, and they got themselves in places of power politically. Julius Caesar was like the military one. His family were mostly like in the army and stuff. I can't remember about Pompey. I think he was like in politics. And Crassus was the one that had the money. I think he was like the richest man in Rome at that time. Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but what was in his heart or his mind? His words were soft and oil, yet were they drawn swords. So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. These whole 15-minute cities, they're going to tell you that it's good for access, right? Because you're always talking about like food insecurity and shit like that, and having food by you and all that shit. They're claiming that this is probably gonna like solve all that shit, but in reality, it's not to help the people; it's to hurt the people. Keep a closer eye on them. Yeah, that's pretty much enough. I made the point. Here's the rest of it. Just go here on the website. You can go grab the link from the URL up top, and you can pretty much get all the stuff that I could have went into, but this is just some stuff I wanted to go into real quick. That's it. Shut up.